All right, sounds like a plan.
Hey, thanks for joining me this morning. The topic today I'm going to talk about is open house strategies, and I know that's something that maybe is taught more often than not. I'm hoping and I'm convinced that you're going to get one or two nuggets from today's session and share some of the insider secrets and little things that I try to present to coaching clients and agents across the country in regards to open house strategies. And I think I've got a nugget or two for everybody on the call today. So thanks for joining me. One of the reasons why I like this topic is just the fact that open house is probably something where we all seem to be at our best. And so it's a face-to-face lead gen source where we all seem to be at our best and feel comfortable and empowered and doing well with it. I know in my career, in my sales career, I loved them and I enjoyed them because I was good at the interaction with the connection of people and doing that. And we're all created to connect with human beings, and that so that's why it's still one of the more powerful ways of lead generating. And you find that a lot of times I find that agents miss kind of the mark on the whole purpose behind the open house. So my challenge to you is to and think that the reason and the purpose behind it is to connect, but more importantly, to contact capture. So I always ask a client or ask an agent, if you're doing open houses and you're leaving without names and emails and cell phone numbers or connection in that, then I feel like you kind of just should have just stayed home or did something with the family or friends instead of going out there and visiting and interacting in that. So my goal or my thought is that contact capture and connection, human connection, are probably the two most important processes and purposes of why you're there at an open house. Now, I get it that some of your clients have well-stocked fridges, they have video, they have satellite TV, and it's a great opportunity to catch up on your on missed television programs or sporting events or drink or eat out of their fridge and that. But that's not the goal for us when we're at the open house, is to catch up on a snooze or a rest or to get some free food from your clients' fridges and that. So don't do that. All right. And one of the things I think is important is that the better you do at communicating the value proposition, so the benefits to the consumer about connecting with you outside the open house, or better with meeting with you and meeting for the sit down, that's another one of those dialogues and one of those things that is important during the process. And so yes, I get it. If we were really transparent, if we were really honest, and we were really truly upfront with our sellers, let's be honest. An open house is honestly them letting us use their home for us to pick up more buyers than sellers, if that was the truth, right? So, yes, the blind squirrel does find a nut once in a while. And yes, you might sell the listing to a client that comes through the open house, but that doesn't happen rarely or doesn't happen often in that. So, I'm going to challenge you to really have that mindset of, I'm here to connect, I'm here to contact capture, I'm here to share the benefits to consumers and people wanting to meet with me and sit down with me. And sales, you have to understand is that my questioning when people come into the open house is more about the challenges that they might be facing in today's marketplace. So write this down. Think about what the challenges in your marketplace are for the buyer. Like, are they having a tough time finding what they're looking for? Are they in multiple bids? Are they thinking that the market's collapsing? That so when I'm connecting with them and I'm asking them, I'm Q&Aing them, yes, I'm trying to find commonalities with them and trying to gauge with them, but I'm trying to trigger their thought patterns where, hey, this guy really understands what we're afraid of, or this guy really understands what I'm going through, or this guy's asking thoughtful, engaging questions, and letting them know that a little bit of their time outside the open house, I'd love to sit down with them and share with them the solutions to those challenges that they might be facing in today's marketplace as a buyer. So contact capture, engagement, thought provoking, and questions that are really showing them that you understand them, you get them what they're up against, and that you have solutions, and that you just need a little bit of their time to sit down with them and share what those solutions are. And my solution is my exclusive or my platinum buyer plan, the process that I help eliminate those challenges, those fears, those problems, and all I need is 22 minutes of your time. I'll pay for the coffee, I'll buy the donut, I'll buy the muffin and that. And what's the worst thing could happen? and what's the best thing could happen if we just got together and sat down and spent a little time together. So that's what I'm going to encourage you, to challenge you, is to think about as your goal and purpose is when you're there is to follow those 3 steps and try to engage that and do that. Okay. Any questions or thoughts on that so far? We're good.
Yeah, wait, just a thought. I don't know if you have this already in your presentation, but could we role play one person walking in your open house?
Yeah, for sure. So we can do that right now. So, hey, thank you for coming. Hey, appreciate you guys. And my first question would be is for you guys is what brought you here today to this property? What caught your eye, or what brought you to this home today? Right. I want to understand what you're looking for, why you got here, what you chose this property, what brought you here today. And so go ahead and dialogue with me, Jamil.
It's the view. I saw the view online.
Awesome. So your focus today, I guess, would be then you're looking for a view property kind of thing?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Oh, you are? Okay,
But
great.
the price I'm not sure about.
The price you're not sure about. Sure, no problem. So I'm not going to jump in that. I'm going to just say, just out of curiosity, how long have you guys been looking for that view property? How long have you guys been looking for that property, Jamil? That view property?
So they're gone?
Oh, there you're back. Gotcha. Got you back. Yeah,
Okay.
no problem. Lost you
All
there.
right. So you were not price not going there.
Right. So I wasn't going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to go where I'm going to try and identify some of the challenges. So how long have you been looking for that view property?
A couple months.
Okay, great. And have you had any success? Have you found anything you liked?
Not really. Like I said, the price is just prices are coming down, man. I want to wait.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So the market and your feeling is that the prices in the market's going to kind of correct itself. Is that the case?
Dude, it's gonna fall out of the sky.
Really? Oh, that's great. So where are you getting that information for? What's making you feel that way?
Zillow.
Zillow. Yeah,
I
interesting.
mean, dude, everyone goes to Zillow, right?
Oh, for sure. Everybody goes there. And so are you familiar with the Zillow process?
I know Zillow, Redfin. I can tell you what things sold for. I'm the man.
Awesome. Awesome. It sounds like you've got a good thing. So just out of curiosity, why are you having such a difficult time finding what you're looking for then?
I'm cheap.
Well, you know what? My wife says that the only time I let go of $1 is to get a better grip on it. So it sounds like you and I have something in common. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of use the term frugal, but that's understand. Hey, if anybody wants to get a deal and look for a deal, it's me. That's important to me as well as getting that deal factor. So just out of curiosity, would you be paying all cash or would you be requiring financing in your purchase?
I would do financing. I'm in the 1.4 to 1.5 range.
Awesome. And who would that financing be? Would you have somebody of choice that you're working with on side by side?
Yep.
And a first name on that person?
Ramesh Bahu.
Okay, and the lending institution that they're working with?
Premier Lending.
Oh, good. And how long have you been working with Ramesh and Premier Lending then? How long has that process been?
About a year.
Okay, perfect. So you're well established in your position yourself that you know that the financing's been taken care of.
Sure.
Hey, just out of curiosity, would you be interested in a second opinion? With this magnitude amount of money, it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are about shopping around and getting a second opinion. No obligation whatsoever. I know I have a relationship with my own broker in that, and they, people spend 20, 25 minutes with that person. They find that they've learned things that they didn't know that they didn't know, getting a second opinion. There's no obligation whatsoever. Would there be an opportunity for me to be able to have my broker connect with you guys and sit you down and go through that process and get that second opinion? No cost, no obligation to you whatsoever. Great. All right. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, would you mind if I just called that broker right now and set up that appointment and just made that connection with you now? Would be now a good time to do that?
Can you just text me the rates? Because that's all I really care about.
Okay, yeah, and most people find that they just looking for that rate, and that's an excellent point. Like I said, 20 minutes of your time, you'll be surprised about the things that you didn't learn, that you didn't know in that. And again, I just, no obligation whatsoever. I can make that connection, make that appointment. Let's just do that right now. I can text that person and give them your name and your cell number. What number would be the best to reach you at?
Sure. It's, yeah.
555-1212-6652. Awesome. Good. All right. So I've got that in place. Just out of curiosity, have you made any offers on any of the properties that you've seen in the last couple of months? Have you made any offers on them?
I have.
Okay. And how did that go? What was the offer process like? Were you in a multiple bid at all? Did you experience that? Did you find a lot of resistance and pushback? What was your experience in that offering process?
Well, I kind of lowballed the seller.
Okay, great. And what was their response? What kind of reaction did you get?
They never called me back.
Listen, I need to look at the house, not
Yeah.
a question for half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because
They want to hear it talk sometimes.
I know.
Oh, okay, we didn't.
Yeah.
yeah, so just out of curiosity, what would it mean to you? It's like, are you familiar with listings that are available that are for sale but not on the market? View properties that are available but not on the MLS system? Are you aware of those properties? There's about 5 or 10% of the inventory that's available. Are you familiar with that kind of inventory? Sleeve, pocket, shadow inventory? Okay, interesting.
No, I'm not.
Okay, and just out of curiosity in that, are you familiar with the one-stop shopping process where I can give you all access pass and log you in and be able to see what Organized Real Estate sees, and you can log in. I'm not able to give you my username and password for all of this, but you'll be able to come into the office, sit down, log in. I'll give you an all access pass to the MLS system, so you'll see what licensed realtors see. And then we have this other system that we're able to put an auto notification on something that fits your search parameter and be notified. I'm notified, you're notified, and then it'll be instantly notified. So I just have many different ways in which I can give you an advantage with beating other sellers or beating other buyers to new properties and find shadow inventory that's not on the market, set you up and get you a second opinion on your financing. And that, I'm just wondering if you had 20 minutes of time in the next day or two that we could meet off site, sit down, and I call it my Platinum Buyers Plan, and it saves you time, money, stress, gives you an advantage on getting all access pass, being able to get.
I have Redfin. I have Redfin. I have Zillow. What difference do you have?
And those are great sources as well. And so I guess the average consumer is relying on 11 different sources at one time. And the irony of it is that we have Organized Real Estate have the only system that doesn't have any delay to it. So most systems that you're accessing are delayed and the information is delayed. So if you'd like instantaneous access and all access past that, all I would need is 20 minutes of your time. I buy the coffee, sit down, share with you the process, no obligation whatsoever, but just 20 minutes of your time. And most people have experienced that the process that we have available is something that they've never heard of, and the value proposition is there. And I'd love the opportunity just to share with you. When would be a good time for us to sit down and just spend 20 minutes of time and have a coffee and a muffin and talk about that?
I just found all the homes on my own. I mean, that's what I usually do. What would you do for me that's different? Can you tell me now?
Yeah, for sure. So like I mentioned, the access pass, the pocket sleeve shadow inventory. I have a system process where I'll go find it if it's not available. So I'll actually find listing inventory. So we've got a lot of inside access and insider access with our peers in our office of properties that you wouldn't know that are available, that you can only have available if you were to spend some time with someone like myself. You can appreciate that most people want to have that anonymity and to be able to do it on their own. But if you don't see value in our time together in 20 minutes, I appreciate that. The worst thing that's going to happen for you, Jamil, is you'll get a free coffee and a free muffin, and you might learn something, you might not. It's just 20 minutes. What's your schedule like tomorrow? Would 2 o'clock be good for you, or 4 be better?
Sure, let's do 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock? Sounds good. And why don't we meet at the Starbucks down on Sandrio Drive? Does that work for you? Is that a good location for you, spot?
Oh, sure.
Okay, and I've got your cell number here, obviously, that you shared with me about our broker and that. I'll set up that meet and greet with my broker, and I'll text remind you that we're meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And hey, I appreciate you guys coming in today. Before you leave, here's a driving map of all the other properties that I put together that are similar to this one of view properties and in this price range. I just ask you a courtesy favor, if you don't mind, Jamil. If you see one of those properties that you'd like to actually physically view and get into when you're driving around, would you mind the courtesy of me showing that property to you? I work on commissions, and how I work is if I show the property and write on the property, that's how I get paid. I'm not on a salary or a wage or anything like that. But I'd appreciate the courtesy if you drove around and saw these properties and you'd like to see them physically. If you gave me that courtesy and contacted me to let me make an appointment and show that property, would you mind if you did that and I asked you that favor?
Sure.
Great. Here's a map of all the driving directions of all the similar properties like that are views like this one. Let me know if there's any interest there, and I look forward to showing to you. And we'll see you tomorrow at Starbucks at 2. And thank you for coming today.
All right, thanks.
All right, awesome.
Okay, you guys have any questions? Michelle?
Well, what if, well, the buyers, most of the times, they say they have an agent that they're working with the agent.
So how do you respond to them if they say that?
Yeah, great question. So the question is that we have an agent. Excellent. So I'm going to ask them if they're under a contract or under agreement with that agent.
Okay.
All right. So you never ask the question anymore, are you working with the realtor? Because they've been programmed to instantly respond to. I use the analogy, they're responding to you. It's like garlic or a cross to a vampire. Their instant response is yes, because they've been programmed to respond yes, because then the garlic comes out and then shh, you're gone away kind of thing, right? So don't ask the question that they've been programmed. I say, are you under agreement or contract with that buyer agent? Are they representing you on a contractual basis? And they go, well, what do you mean contractual or under agreement basis? What do you mean by that? And then all of a sudden, bingo, I know that they're not under agreement and that they're still fair game there, right? And that the response isn't going to be like, yes, we have an agent, go away, and I've been told to say that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's actually a real good way to ask.
Yeah, but what is that gonna secure you that they're gonna sign a contract with you?
So then
attention that.
Yeah.
You're gonna show value.
Yeah, it's a great question. So let's go a step further. So say, no, yes, I am under agreement. Then my next question is, oh, and who is that agent that you're under agreement with? Now, if they can't give me an agent's name, then I know they're not under agreement, right? Well, I forget her name, right? So my first question is are you under agreement or contract? Are they representing you exclusively, right? And that dialogue catches them off because they haven't heard people question them that way. They've only heard them questioning.
I can't hear you, Wade.
So
Wade, we can't hear you.
So I'll ask them if they're under agreement or if they're under contract. They're not used to that question, right?
Yeah, no.
Right? So then I'll ask them if they say to me they are, then I'll say, who is it with then? And if they say the name of the agent in that, then I'm going to respect that and say, I hear great things about that person. Sounds like you've been taken care of. Can I ask, are you happy and satisfied with the level of service that you've received so far with that agent? Okay. And I always honor that. And I say, it's nice to hear people and loyalty and commitment in our industry. It is rare. So thank you for that. And I hope that that person takes good care of you, and I'll honor that and respect that. I want to be a pro and I want to honor that. But if there's not a relationship, there's not that signage, there's not that commitment, they're not satisfied, then my job is to identify the challenges they're having, let them know I have solutions, and then share with them tidbits of my buyer platinum value proposition that I could offer them, and close for the sit down and close for the meeting. And try to keep the momentum rolling there, right?
Okay.
Okay. So first things first, let's get into the actual choice of the open house and going through that process, right? So select your open house on saleability, location, traffic, curb appeal, condition, style, area, and price. Be strategic, right? A lot of times I hear that if you are more than 3 signs or 3 or 4 turns from a major thoroughfare, then it'll be too difficult for the consumer to get to the property. They'll bow out after 2 turns. So keep that in mind, okay? So select property on saleability, location, traffic, curb appeal, condition, style, area, and price. Okay, next one is choose the date of that open house a week or 2 prior. So you're planning for this, not just to wing it and it's last minute, plan for it, okay? Consider working with an open house with a partner so you can control your crowds and control your buyers and control the clients and people that are coming in, okay? A lot of times I don't know that people find this a little bit controversial, but I'll put a sign up that says, "Thank you for your patience. I'm currently showing the home and be back soon." And I use it as twofold. Number one, controlling my crowd and environment. Number two, qualifying. So if they leave because they don't want to stand in line, then they're not serious enough to buy the house. So I don't really feel I've lost anything if they leave when the doors and the signage is up. Thank you for their patience. Thirdly, it's like a nightclub or a restaurant opening, and that if you can create a buzz and a frenzy with people lining up at the front door, that's marketing. And I think that that's important. But again, some agents think, you know what, I don't want to gamble that, don't want to lose the lead, don't want to do that. But I personally feel that the signage up front and thanking them for the patience, and then you and your teammate taking one couple at a time and touring them through and trying to develop that rapport and that, rather than just a free for all and everybody running in and you not being able to share and ask and engage questions and things like that, and then you're just burning through leads. It's kind of a lot not for cause opportunity of open house, right? The last idea or the last thing before your open house is to preview and tour all the comparable homes around that open house or similar to that open house, so you really have a grasp and you really know the market and you really know what's going on, and you're set and you're ready to be able to talk about those properties because you've physically been through them, you've physically previewed them. Okay, so those are some of my open house planning suggestions for you. Also, do you do food and beverage? The jury's out. I'm not certain if it makes a big difference whether there's food and beverage or not. Do you do entertainment? Again, the jury's out in that. It depends on whether you're creating a multi-home event or something like that, or if it's just a one-off. You know, the next question is, where do the public find the open houses? So I know in some cities, Kijiji, Craigslist, things like that, if it's not there, you don't get the crowds. Where would you say in your area there would be the place that they would find the open house ads the best?
What's on Zillow?
Zillow? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So ask around. I always ask people where they saw it or where they found the open house so I can track and measure, right? So you can track and measure. Okay. Now, does it matter day? Does it matter time? If it's a good listing, if it's a good price point, if it's a good property type in that, I don't believe day and time matters, right? There's people that just have this old adage that it's got to be on a Saturday, it's got to be on a Sunday, it's got to be at 1, it's got to be at 11. I don't know if it really matters personally, okay? And so my first big nugget here, an aha moment, is this. Why don't you guys only just start advertising open times, the start times? Here's what happens. When I only advertise and I coach people to advertise only their start time, their ads people actually call you now. What a novel concept. An open house ad that actually makes the phone ring. Weird, huh? Right? Here's why the phone rings. Jamil calls me and says, "Hi, hey, saw your open house on San Bernardino Drive on Saturday, or and I see you're out there at 1 o'clock, but I don't know if I can get there, and I might not be able to get there till 1:30. Are you still going to be there?" Yeah, you know what, Jamil, thanks for calling. Why don't you give me your first name, and I've got your number here, and I'll give you a courtesy call before I leave so I know I don't miss out on you. Now I've actually got their contact information, a phone number, and I've actually captured a contact before I've even started my open house during the week. So advertising the start times using open at or open from will make the phone ring. What it'll also do, advertising only the start time, is it'll create a urgency and people will show up sooner before your start time and they'll be there beforehand because they don't know when you're going to go. The last thing I think is the most important reason why I do this. If there's no one coming in 45 or 55 minutes, I'm going to pack up and leave after an hour and not do a sentence for 2-3 hours at someone's property, hoping and praying that the Lord's going to bring me somebody and wasting my whole entire 2, 3, 4 hour time because I put in the start time and the end time. Now, the last pushback I get is a lot of the places where I advertise, Wade, have to only accept a start time and a finish time. So then I'm going to say to you, then just put start time and finish time 1 hour. Just if they're going to come, they're going to come in that hour. If they're serious and they want to buy, put it out there and just do it an hour. The last little tip was not only do I put the start time only, but I'll put a rider on on the for sale sign the week prior or two saying open Saturday at 10 a.m., open Sunday at 1 p.m., right? So I'll put that rider up so people are driving by it the week prior and they're seeing that. So start time only, you got urgency, you've got contact capture, the phone's ringing, you can leave when you want to, and the sign writers promoting prior to the open house and the event and that. How many people like only advertising the start time and being able to leave now?
Good.
Good. And how many people would like to leave if no one's coming in the first hour and go home or go to your family or go to the beach?
Yeah, I don't know about that way because typically our open houses, I mean, you'll see 10 to sometimes 20, 25 parties come through. So I don't know
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that'll work. I don't know if that'll work because they're viewing other houses. So
Yeah.
I'm not,
No, and,
Yeah.
and I do get pushback.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and I get pushback on that. I guess if I'm
Yeah.
going to do that, I'm going to do it the way that I try to take control of my time and energy in that. If I'm with a teammate, I can leave now and go do another one. So a lot of times I'll share with you, and one of my other nuggets is, if I'm going to do them, I'm going to do 3 in one day. And I can do it with a teammate and leave and do 3 in one day so that I'm fishing with a net, bigger net, a trawler, instead of a single little hook and trying to catch one fish at a time. So the jury's out there, but I find that a lot of times people that do the start time love having more control of their time, having more control of their space and that, and creating that urgency and getting the actual consumers to call their open house ads and call on it. So yeah, it's up to you guys to do that. So another site, I don't know if you know this, but preopenhouse.com, another portal other than Kijiji or Zillow and that, where you can start promoting that open house and doing that. Check out preopenhouse.com. Again, I don't get any affiliates or kickbacks or anything like that from promoting it, but there's a site where it is basically geared to consumers being able to promote and generate more traffic for your open houses and that, where they have a site that's pushing in different communities all over the United States of different opportunities for open houses and exposing that open house as well. So another source that you consider for promotion in that. The other point is if you have joint open houses in an area with other agents and other properties to drive more traffic, so you pool your resources with the open houses. So more homes, more realtors, more people, more traffic, promoting Facebook Live videos, emails, social media posts, print, classifieds, different websites, Zillow, things like that. I also I always knock the neighbors. So I knock 20 neighbors the week before, invite them to a neighbor VIP previewing. So if my open house is 10 a.m., I'm inviting the neighbors at 9:45. Okay, for a VIP showing, previewing of the neighborhood. So when the public comes at 10, the neighbors are in my listing and they're looking, and the people are showing up and thinking, holy, this is a hot listing because there's already a ton of people here early. They don't know that it's the neighbors. They just know that there's already a bunch of traffic and it's already set up beforehand. And that's when I'm going to get the neighbors to come through 15 minutes early. And then I'll be able to focus my time and energy on the actual consumers at the regular time. So I like doing that VIP neighborhood previewing before the open house and creating that traffic and buzz and getting the nosy neighbor out of the way before the public comes at 10. The other one is to door knock expired listings and let them know that you're hosting an open house and they can see how you do your open house, and plant a seed with an expired listing or a for sale by owner listing in that area, that they might be able to plant a seed and maybe possibly get an appointment or see how you work with your marketing, with your open house strategies, and that with an expired or for sale by owner. Okay. Moving on to signage. I'm a big fan personally, taking advantage of the signage with face and picture in your photo and turning them into almost mini billboard promotions. So personally, I think if you're going to have signage, I think you should have a mini billboard format with your face, your cell phone number on that, and take advantage of it. There's the flagging signs, the balloon signs, there's the little mini lawn signs, there's the sandwich board signs. There's all kinds of different types of signage. I prefer that if you're going to take opportunity to hire somebody to put them all around different areas and that, and use them as mini billboard board permission. And I try to get a minimum of 20 out to try and really let the market and let the neighborhood know who I am and what I'm about, and promote it and that. So that's just a signage tip that you can use from that standpoint. These little small little arrow ones and that are inexpensive. They're less than $10 each. Obviously the flag ones and the sandwich board ones are a little bit more substantial investment. balloons are cheap and that. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to try and get my name and my face and people seeing how hard I work for them in their home and try to take advantage of that through the signage and through the promotion. Okay. Next one is using Open Home Pro. I love this app. I love the whole technology interaction with the consumer coming in. It has opportunities for surveys and feedback. Anybody using Open Home Pro in the room there?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a great app. You should look at it. It runs on a tablet, it runs on a phone, it runs a computer and that. How many of you are using the payment sheets, the finance payment sheet options for your open houses? Do you have those available?
No.
Okay. How many of you are using statistics and graphs, your local market, and having those available? Okay.
None.
The drive-by sheets of similar properties with the driving directions with the Google Maps and that. And then buyer tips and seller tips. So what I normally do is I display a magnitude of options and value propositions. So I'm laminating these finance sheets, these stat sheets, these drive-by sheets, these buyer tips and things like that, because I'm leaving them on the kitchen counter with a sticker that says master copy. And the reason why I have a sticker with master copy in the laminated items is that I want to increase my chances of them giving me their contact information in exchange for these items and what I have displayed. Okay. Now, some people say, well, they just take a picture of them with their phone. That's fine too. But if I can increase the chances of them saying, how do I get a copy of that? Again, contact capture opportunity and displaying out there. So try the Open Home Pro app. Try the finance payment. We live in the payment, not in the price. So payment structure and sheets are always interesting to people. There's local statistics, the local graphs on the markets, drive-by sheets of similar properties, buyer and seller tips. More things I have is free draw items, articles of interest, recent sold data sheets, laminated again. I have a little sign that says, ask me about distress sales, fixer and flippers, things like that. So the sign creates dialogue and conversation. This is an example of my buyer's purchase plan and what I do and what I provide them, signed by me. So I'll send this slide deck and you guys can screenshot this. But again, this is something that I want to communicate my value proposition and what I provide for a buyer and what sets me apart from every other buying agent in the community. Guys, most people are just handing out business cards and a feature sheet or brochure. That isn't doing it for these people, right? They're looking for stuff that's interesting, value, added value. And the draw item, I've always just done a wine draw, and everybody wins my wine draw. So no word of a lie, they enter into the wine draw. On a Monday, I'll drive around and I'll deliver inexpensive bottle of wine or inexpensive bottle of maybe non-alcoholic juice or some sparkling juice or something like that, with a thank you card and two of my business cards and the thank you note. And I drop that off to people that entered into the draw. I've got more buyers and more people buying a $10 bottle of refreshment and a personal handwritten note and business cards dropped off on a Monday than you could shake a stick at, dropping it off in that. They feel like they were treated above and beyond. There's a small token of your appreciation. The personal handwritten note in your business card goes a long way and a great way of engaging and getting people after the event and following up with that gift and a small token of my appreciation. It's inexpensive, and I've captured people using that wine draw or that non-alcoholic bubbly juice format over and over again after the weekend open houses. Right. So there's some ideas for contact capture. Any questions or thoughts there?
You can do a gift card or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think
So
that's it.
when you're at the event, it's showtime. Wearing your name badge, right? I know it seems simple, but it's effective, right? Focusing on one individual or one couple at a time and looking for buying signals, engaging questions, thought-provoking, things like that, not letting them all run around and losing control. Ask them about what they're struggling with, what their challenges are, relate to them, engage with them, and then communicate things that you do in your buyer plan, your home purchase plan, that they didn't know that you just need to sit down with them and you can share with them the benefits of doing business with you and meeting with you. And again, it's only 20 minutes. It's free coffee. It's a free donut. The worst thing that's going to happen. What's the best thing might happen to them? And again, I'm trying to communicate that and set my SAR. Adding value with all these items and having these things available to them and increasing your value proposition versus a business card and a feature sheet. set yourself apart. You don't understand how most people don't have anything unique and different and value added to these people, or most agents can't communicate to them, or they just let them walk around and not even engage or talk to them whatsoever, which I feel is a complete lost opportunity for sure. From the security standpoint, have a safety plan, have a route of escape, have somebody, an app, or take a self-defense class, have a safe word, have a partner with you. You know, unfortunately, we have to make sure our own safety is at first place, right? You know, I comment about the sign on the front door and controlling who comes in and who comes out one at a time. Maybe consider refusing entry without signing a guest registry on the Open Home Pro app or providing identification. And this little nugget here, which I'm not sure if you're aware of, there's a company called Cleared, K-L-E-A-R-D. You guys can get instant criminal checks and security checks on consumers before you show them properties and before they come in home within seconds on your phones. It's called cleared.com. Check it out. So, you know, for security purposes, Mr. and Mrs. Seller have asked me to have you just go through this process and identify it, and it's instant verification on you as a person. Would you mind just filling out your information on this phone? And the sellers have asked me to go through this process or to refuse entry today, and I hope you can appreciate that. We just want to keep track and measure who's coming in and out of their property and that, and taking care of it. And you'd want and expect that if I was representing you in your home, wouldn't you? And it's a qualifier, but I think that in today's day and age, if people are serious enough, they'll feel comfortable using an app and checking it and going for verification, or at least a registration and presenting ID and that before you come in. Yes, it seems a little bit overkill, but I think today in days and age, you can't be more safer, and you have to be prudent and be careful, okay? And that's, so check out cleared.com as an opportunity to use as a tool for qualifying and verifying people before you show property with buyers and before they come into the open house. Now, there's
a quick question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
For every 10 couple or 10 parties that come in, how many of those should we try to, I mean, I know we should try to get them all, but what's the ratio? 25%, 50%?
So I guess for me, I'm looking at trying to set a goal that if I can get 50-50, I think it's a good day, right? Like, you think of it, I'll use this analogy, Jamil. Pro baseball players in the Hall of Fame, if they're batting 350. So that's 3.5 out of 10, right? So if I would say most agents, if they're batting 3.5 out of 10 and capturing contact information and getting the sit down, you're a Hall of Fame agent. That's, you know, 3.5.5 out of 10 is a good day and a good, you know, because what's important is when you connect with one individual and capture their contact information in a sit down, you didn't just capture one person today. You captured one person who knows another 100 or 150 persons. So imagine the magnitude of you're adding into your funnel of that person and the relationships that they have. That's a good day. 3 people at 3 times 3.5 people times, you know, 100, 150 other people that they know. I love those numbers. I think that's a great shift and a great open house strategy, and you're a Hall of Famer if you're capturing 3.5 out of 10. So my goal would be 5 out of 10 to be an all-star. I shoot big, I shoot high. So, you know, 50-50 is the ratio I'd be looking at to set myself for my own goal personally.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Now, you guys are aware that you basically could have open house 24/7 with virtual reality and software and 3D tours and that. So this is a website where consumers can go and tour homes 24/7. You know, so don't forget the virtual open house and promoting your open houses 24/7 on all your listings, and having, you know, consumers going there and generate a separate open house for your marketing tool for you to drive consumers to doing your virtual open houses 24/7. So it's called virtualopenhouse247.com, and you guys should consider creating that kind of a platform for your own selves and for your sellers' homes and that, because you can basically now host open houses any day, anytime, anywhere, and it's not reliant upon you in that and being able to do that, okay? So it's something to consider and adding to your marketing arsenal. And then a little bonus items, right? So only talk about the property that you're hosting the open at, out of respect. I think it's a professional courtesy that you only talk about properties that you're there. You're there for Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And I think they respect the fact that, out of respect, I'm going to talk about only this home today, but there are other homes that are available. And I'd love to meet you outside this property. You can appreciate that. If I'm hosting an open house at your house, you'd want me to talk only about your house. Would that make sense, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? So that whole, don't be caught up being unprofessional and respectful to a property and a property owner by talking about other promises while you're on their site and while they're hosting. Okay. I'm going to consider, if I'm going to be in for an open house, I'm going to be in for 3 in one day. So I'll do a 10 a.m., a 12:30, and a 3:30 or a 3. And I'll try to switch it up in price, location, and home style, and try to have a big day and an open house day and go all in and do 3 in one day. Consider evenings and weekdays instead of weekends as well. You never know. If you find a vacant property, I know a lot of agents started their career out by finding vacant properties and open housing and just throwing up signs and flags and banners and doing them every day kind of thing, and doing them daily as a lead capture and meeting the neighbors and meeting the area and that. So don't think that you have to have a planned one. You could just throw one up at a vacant property. Offer to open one for sale by owner and expired, or invite them to yours, right? Again, the card and wine thing and dropping it off the next day. And then my last bonus and my last item for today is just talking about luxury listings. So in your marketplace, what would you consider high end? 3 to 4, 5 million, Jamil, in that price point for a high end luxury?
Probably around 2, 2.5.
2.5. Okay. So you don't open house luxury listings. We create and host events. So I have a lot of luxury agents that I coach, and here's why I coach to them. We create an event. So your seller's probably a high net worth individual. Would you agree? And high net worth individuals tend to hang and connect and know and have a sphere of other high net worth individuals. So I'm going to ask them to help me create their guest list, and we're going to create a guest list to invite them to my luxury event. And so what I'm going to...
I lost you, Wade. Okay. I didn't hear the last minute.
No problem. So luxury events versus open houses for that 2.5 million listing, okay? Mm-hmm. Right? So we're going to host a luxury event. High net worth individuals, they connect with other high net worth individuals. So I'm going to ask your seller to help us create a guest list, because you just don't know who somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that might come to the event that might know that they want to buy that property. So I'm going to create and host an event. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So at my event, I'm going to invite a high-end car dealer, a high-end RV dealer, a high-end boat dealer, a high-end jeweler, a high-end clothier. I'm going to hire some entertainment, a catering company, financial planners, maybe an art gallery or an art place to post and display art in that, and have valet and people there parking cars and that, and create an event. And you're hosting this high-end net worth event for your seller and promoting their home versus doing an open house. Invitations, RSVP only, that kind of an event in that. And these sponsors or these promoters will be pooling and sharing in the cost of the event. Does that make sense? So sometimes I can get some of my high-end luxury agents to host an event like this, and the event costs them nothing, because the boat dealer, the car dealer, the jeweler, the clothier, the people in that are helping contribute and pool in, because they want to network with high net worth individuals on an event as well. So consider an event versus an open house for that luxury listing and that high worth. And then again, the whole night, the whole evening, you're expanding your high net worth database by your seller promoting and endorsing you and thanking you for such an amazing evening, and introducing you to all these other high net worth individuals. And it's a win-win for everybody, and you're creating a special evening and a special event versus just doing a random open house for that kind of a property. Any thoughts, Sure. questions, and that maybe just in the room, the top 3 nuggets that you got from today, from the information and the ideas?
Are there nuggets?
None?
I think what I liked, and I think a couple other people liked, was the wine or the free draw.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
That was great. And having the mindset of trying to get at least three sit downs for every 10.
Yes.
I think if you walk in saying, okay, my goal is to get 3 buyers if I get 10 people that walked in.
Yes.
And then trying to get that goal. Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And maybe some of these apps like Open Home Pro and preopenhouse.com, checking those out.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for your time this morning. Sorry about the audio
Thank you,
challenge there this morning. Yeah, have a great week, everybody, and we'll chat with everybody in the next couple weeks, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Wade.
All right.
Have a good day.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So,